light the fire. You place the flowers in the vase that you bought today. Staring at the fire for hours and hours while I listen to you play your love songs all night long. For me, only for me. Come to me now and rest your head for just 5 minutes. Everything is done. Such a cozy room. The windows are illuminated by the evening sunshine through them. Fiery gems for you, only for you. Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And la 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 la.
Hello everyone, I'm Chris, John's eldest son. A friend once told me, only a fool climbs a mountain and doesn't take time to enjoy the view. I think my father's greatest legacy was enjoying the view, especially with those closest to him. And by that, I literally mean anybody within storytelling distance, whether it be family, dog, cat, horse, child, or stranger. In his career, he was always willing to take time to hear students out and help them with any problems he could. When at home, he was happiest surrounded by his kids and grandkids, and he truly took being a father to the next level, made it an art form with his infinite cheesy jokes, his amazing Lego building skills, and his ability to be the world's greatest armchair historian. He taught me to care about others, no matter where I am, no matter what's happening in my life, to be a lifelong learner, and to always share what I learn with others as much as possible. All my life's passions came from trying to be just like him, whether it be from running cross country in high school, to throwing pottery, to give to friends and donate to charities, woodworking as best I can, camping and making food from scratch, especially food like noodles we used to roll out onto our table and take over the kitchen and then dry and put in JCPenney's shirt boxes and wrap like gifts and send them all over the country to friends and family. I think my arm was going to fall off every year cranking the little crank on the side of the pasta machine. So here's to my father for always being brave enough to climb every mountain that came his way, kind enough to make friends along each path, and wise enough to always stop and enjoy the view. So let's all remember to take the time and enjoy the view no matter where we're at, love one another as best we can. Thank you.
14 months after John passed, and it feels surreal to finally have this celebration of his life. His unexpected departure was quickly followed by the unexpected shutdown of our entire world. The pandemic forced us to reschedule this service twice, and after a year of waiting for things to return to normal, we decided we needed to honor John before it felt too late. This is not what we envisioned for John's service, and I'm sure everyone joining us today knows that John would much prefer that we gather in person. But when the world has other plans, we must adapt. And adapt we have. It's certainly been a year of firsts without John in our lives, but every tear, every birthday, every anniversary, and every moment we think about John honors him. Each day I use the bowls he made for our family. I touch a mug handle he touched. I wear shirts he wore. I sit in his chair. It's still our house, our home, and our yard full of work that frankly I'd prefer he was doing. Grieving any time is hard. Grieving during the pandemic is a whole new level of hard. Being mired in work has been both a blessing and a curse. Honestly, working from home, if John had been here, would have been a true challenge. I'm sure his former colleagues can attest to what it's like to share an office with him. I wouldn't have gotten a thing done, but I'd give anything to be managing that annoyance rather than learning to live without him. I'm not waiting for my grief to be over. We all carry our losses with us throughout our lives. Keeping up photos, wearing a wedding ring, leaving a favorite food in the pantry, not tossing out the bottle of crappy shampoo in the shower you know you're never going to use. These are not signs of being stuck in grief. They're evidence that your person was here and they were a part of your life. John was the ultimate dreamer and had countless plans for his free time and future endeavors. If we were meeting in person, I'd put on my student affairs name tag, probably make you put on one as well, and engage all of us in an enthusiastic round of raise your hand if you ever heard John talk about this. This being any one of potentially hundreds of topics. Here are a few just for kicks. Raise your hand if you heard John talk about pottery, either in general or his plans to make everyone in his family a full set of dishes. Raise your hand if you heard him talk about walking the Appalachian Trail, canoeing and camping, even if it was a tent in the backyard. Mostly if it was a tent in the backyard, actually. Raise your hand if you heard him talk about his plans to start running again, build an outdoor shower, have a hot tub, or raise your hand if you heard him talk about the Green Bay Packers every week in the fall. Raise your hand if you heard John tell stories about his kids and his grandkids and stories about me. Raise your hand if you heard John tell stories about friends from decades ago that there was zero chance of you ever meeting. Raise your hand if you heard him talk about our animals, his cat-like reflexes, and his dancer's legs. John was, without any doubt, the worst joke teller on the face of the earth, but that didn't keep him from trying. However, he was intelligent, talented, creative, and generous. He embraced being an ordinary guy with such fantastic fervor, and this is what made him so extraordinary in my heart. John's favorite t-shirt was a Life is Good shirt with the phrase Grateful Dad imprinted upon it. If you look closely, you'll probably see it in many of the photos we've chosen for today. He wore this shirt so often that the design became faded and difficult to read. It was also his favorite color, brown. Yes, brown. That fun fact about him still surprises me to this day. How many people tell you their favorite color is actually brown? John embodied the term Grateful Dad. He was born to be a dad. This phrase is engraved on his urn and will forever be meaningful to us. Our world has lost far too many lovely humans in the past year. While John's passing was not related to the pandemic, our family is just one of far too many managing great grief. In this year of great loss, our family has been virtually surrounded by love, care, and comfort, and I'm grateful to each of you for this. When someone you love dies, it changes your life forever. It's not something you get over. The loss just becomes a part of who you are, always. Your grief and how you express it is as individual as your love. Grief is the price we pay for love, and it's worth every moment. I've read about 1.6 million articles, blogs, books, etc. about grief this year, and I've taken away that above all, we should strive to be the things we love most about the people who are gone. So that's my promise to John, to be the things in him I most love.